I'm Gabs.
And I'm Liz.
And
And
welcome
welcome
to
to
Their Tropes
Their Tropes
Battled for
Battled for
Dominance.
Dominance. I'm so fucking sorry if you can hear the ambulance outside. I live by a hospital now,
Liz lives
so
in New York City now! Ah!
let's go.
It's fine if they've heard all the sirens running past me for the past year, they can deal with yours. So, what's up, guys?
Yes.
We have not recorded in a month now. I think it's been like like a day over a month or
No
something.
way.
Like it
No
was
way it's
early
been a
August. Yeah, because my last video that I had when we were doing our test setup and stuff, and I was looking at the video collection. The last one I have is from August 5th, and it's September 6th that we're recording this.
Zam.
We
That's
literally kept
what.
trying. So, like, the first 2 weeks, we were like, that's fine. We are not going to be able to record. It's fine. But then last week, we were like, okay, let's try and record, right? And then we just couldn't. So,
Yeah.
I went out of town.
I was moving in, had the
Liz was
worst moving
moving.
anxiety of my life.
Yeah. And then I think you started school last week as well, right? Or did you start
No,
this week?
I literally started today.
Today, right. I started last week in addition to that, and then also had all this shit go down with my passport, which I'll give a TLDR in a bit. But we just literally did not have time. And then instead of stressing about it too, the other thing is that, like, this podcast is for fun. We
Yeah.
record because it is fun for us to record. If it is not fun for us to record, we came to the decision we're not going to record. We're not, like, that's part of why we went on hiatus in the first place, is because we were forcing ourselves to, like, make time
Record.
as opposed to just doing it when we felt we had time. Obviously
Yeah.
we want to release weekly, but, like, life is more important.
Yeah.
If you know,
And it's not to say like we're not making time at all, like we
oh
don't
my god,
care.
no, we
Like
make
I would
time.
love to be like getting ready for bed right now, but like I want to stay up to record this. So,
Yeah.
like there's like the difference, like I'm making time to stay up and
Oh,
record this,
absolutely. Right. And then it's like we realize, if the other thing is, like, we wouldn't normally, stay up super late to do this. We would do this when we have time. But then I'm going out of town again this weekend, and Liz has a convention this weekend. So we
Yeah.
literally, and then with school and classes, we literally do not have any other time than 10 o'clock on this Tuesday night. So we're going to do that, and
Yay.
then we'll hopefully have more time to record next week, at least two, so that we can get back on our schedule of recording in advance, so that we don't do what we did last week where we don't give you guys an episode. But all that being said, I'll start with my past month.
Oh geez,
So
it's been a month.
it's been a
Yeah.
month. Yeah. So shortly after we recorded our last episode, I realized that my passport was missing. This past weekend, I went to Canada. You can't get into Canada without a passport. I was driving. You can't get in there without a
Unless
passport.
unless you have the special ID card, which I
Only
have.
there's only no real ID. That's different than the enhanced ID. That's what
Yeah, no, I have both. I have
How
the
do you
one
have
that you can get
both?
into Canada with. I have the one that you can get into
How do
Canada
you have
with.
both?
No,
I
no,
didn't
the
think that was in New
enhanced
York yet.
ID.
Yeah, I didn't think the enhanced ID was
Enhanced.
in New York yet. It said, when I Googled it, it
That's
said
the
it was in Washington and California only.
and I've been having this
Fuck
since I lost my ID
you!
last CCs.
I hate you, first of all. Second of all,
Yeah, I can get
anyways,
into Canada
I don't
and
have that
Mexico.
because I still have been way too lazy to change my passport over to Connecticut because I don't want to accept the fact that I live in Connecticut. Um, anyways, so I had to get, but now the thing is, you can only get an expedited passport within 14 days if you're, so I had to call back the Monday before I left in order to get my, because I wasn't leaving until that Friday, and my travel plan said I wasn't going to be there until that Friday. So the earliest appointment that I was able to get when I called was Friday at 9:30 a.m. So I get there and I don't want to go into it because it took me 30 minutes to explain it all to my parents last weekend. So I won't go into all of it, but let's just say, like, every single bad thing that could happen to me happened, right? My dad mails me my birth certificate in the mail, so that I, like, priority mail, so that I have it in time for my appointment. Somebody, it gets delivered at 10:30 a.m. I had such a busy day at work. I was like, that's fine. It's in my lobby. I will go down and get it, at the end of my work day. Between 10:30 a.m. and 5:30 p.m., somebody stole my birth certificate in the package.
Oh my
I get a call at 6 p.m. from my dad saying that some very nice lady named Sarah called him from a mile away from my apartment because she found my birth certificate in the street. So the thing is, she didn't even know it was my birth certificate. She literally just found the envelope and, for whatever reason, picked it up, saw my name, like saw the birth
God
certificate,
bless her.
called my dad, like found my
God
dad on
bless
Facebook.
her.
She tried to get me on Facebook. She couldn't get me on Facebook, so she got my dad. Thank God I don't have a common like legal name. Got in contact with my dad, and then my dad called me and gave me her number. And sweetest lady, I owe her my life. But like, oh my God. And you know
Oh,
what's crazy is they literally, so like they used like a letter, like they slashed it open to like open the package, and by in doing so they slashed through my birth certificate, so it was folded up, so now there's 3 like identical slashes in my birth certificate.
I'm so fucking sorry. That's wild.
So thankfully, you know, they accepted it, but it was literally what else could go wrong? You know, and there was other things going on too, but basically like everything in my life was saying do not go to Canada. I went to Canada. My parents and it's rough, and
Yeah.
I learned a lot of things about my parents too this weekend that have made it extra rough. So I'm trying to not think about it. But you
Hmm.
know, I went with my best friend Hadar. We had a really nice time when it was just the two of us, and we drove together. I dropped her off at the airport at 6 a.m. this morning because, and I'm just dying from that. So like I've barely been sleeping this past, but like I genuinely this past month every single night have not slept more than 5 hours if I'm lucky. It's been, and then with work and then school and then this stress, it's been a lot. So that's why we really haven't recorded. Like Liz had time in those weeks leading up. I just did not, and I could not make time. So if anyone's gonna be upset about that, be upset at me, not
No,
Liz.
bestie, no.
But anyways, um in other news, tomorrow is my 4-year anniversary with Nick. You can't see him. He's hiding behind his shelf right here.
I love you guys so much.
Thanks. We exchanged our gifts today just because I'm going to be insanely busy tomorrow, and he, you know, has stuff to do too. So it's like, I was like, I want to exchange our gifts today because mine came in, you know, tonight. So I got him this makeup shelf thing, but it's a coffin. It's from his wish list. It's like a vampire coffin, and
Mhm.
it also has like a mini coffin for brushes, and it came with a coffin shaped can opener for some reason. Anyways,
Love that.
he was very happy with it, and then I'm extremely happy with my gifts. I have to take them out of my ears. I did a test before we started recording to see if like it would show up on my camera, and it did, but it's a little blurry. So for those of you guys who aren't watching, Nick got me Twilight earrings. I don't know, it's gonna be so hard. It's too hard to see,
That's my
unfortunately.
boy.
This is
That's my
Jacob.
boy.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's New Moon Jacob.
It's New Moon Jacob,
I
100%.
think it actually might be from like the
The poster?
poster promo. Yeah, poster promo Jacob. And then Edward, which I actually think
wait,
I
I'm gonna
actually
be
can't tell
honest.
which one it is. You can't, it's hard
I
to see. It's
I
very hard to
think
see.
that photo of Jacob is the Jacob poster I had on my wall in elementary
Stop. I
school.
love that. Well, he goes on my left ear now.
Oh,
And
perfect.
then Edward, I'm pretty sure this is Eclipse Edward because of the mutton chops. Which is perfect because Eclipse is my favorite movie with his stupid Anthony Bridgerton mutton chops, you know? But anyways, I put these on this morning and I did not take them off, and I literally went to my grad school class and not a single person commented on them, right? I literally wore
That's
my hair
so
up and
depressing.
everything so that like, you know, just to
Someone
give
would be
people
like,
more of a chance to like see it. Nobody said shit. I talked to so many people, not a single person. Like even someone being like, "What the fuck is on your ears?" Like, you know, these are like a solid like 2-3 inches. Like people would notice them. I'm mad that nobody commented. Anyways, I'm so happy. I'm literally gonna wear these the rest of my life.
hmm
So yeah, that's how my month has been. Hopefully things are looking up. Liz, how was yours?
I got my hair cut and like that's making me happy.
It looks
So,
very good. If you guys aren't watching, you should turn on the video just for Liz. Oh, sorry to interrupt. Speaking of watching, sorry that the videos have not been on YouTube. It takes like 2 hours to upload the videos with my internet speed, and it's a pain in the ass. So I've been lazy. But I'll try to start doing that maybe this week.
and then I got new glasses. I completed my incel transformation into the Riddler with my
Woo!
clear glasses.
You really do have the Riddler glasses
I
now.
do have, that's literally why I fucking bought them.
I
I was
know.
like, these are the Riddler glasses. I need to fucking buy them. Um, I moved. That happened. I have a very beautiful view of the Manhattan
Oh
skyline
my
and
God, dude,
the Hudson River.
her view is actually breathtaking.
It's like
It's the kind of view that
genuine.
people move to the city for.
Like I genuinely just sit looking out my window and I'm like, damn.
Do
Like
you?
I can't see it that well tonight because it's
Mm-hmm.
foggy as shit. But
Yeah, with all
like
the rain.
I literally just look out there and I'm like, this is pretty.
It's pretty. I
Um,
saw, photos and videos that Liz
a photo,
shared
Gabs,
because
the photos don't do it
I know I
justice.
want
It's
to
even
maybe
prettier
I'll
in
stop
person.
by like at some point after ComicCon or something just to see
Yes.
it because I really do want to see it.
And then I have like a non-working fireplace in my room.
Yeah, it's like but it's cute. Like it
No,
very
it's so cute, but it's like
it doesn't work at all
so
though.
no,
Oh, that's
it's
funny.
because it'd be like a real
It would
fireplace.
be a real fire hazard, I know.
They don't want like a fire in the dorm. But
I
like
know.
it was just like I walked in and I'm like, why the fuck do I have a fireplace in my dorm? It's great because it's like extra shelf space.
True.
I'm trying to think what else happened. I went to go see the new Spider-Man release with the new like extra scenes, and it was really, really good. I
Wait,
really
that was a
suggest
thing?
it. Yeah, and it's like actually like good extra scenes. Like for Endgame, they did an extra scenes, and it was just like a not actually fully CGI'd scene of like the Hulk stuck at the end. So it sucked, and it like added nothing. But like the
Okay.
scenes in this were like actually like edited into the movie. They were like funny scenes. Like it was
Wait, I how did I
so
not know about this?
good.
I want to see it just because like I would die for
It
Andrew
just came
Garfield.
it just came out like on like Thursday, so it's probably still in theaters for a little bit.
I'll see if I
It's
can
yeah, go
maybe.
see it. And it has like an extra Andrew Garfield scene. So
All
you
right, you
should go
sold
see it.
me. Do you know how devastated I've been ever since Andrew Garfield announced his hiatus? Like, I literally like I don't
I
care.
didn't know you were this big of an Andrew
I
stan.
just think he's so attractive. Genuinely. Like to me, he represents to me what like what's his face? Ryan Deadpool
Ryan
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 Reynolds.
Reynolds.
Yeah, he's to me what Ryan Reynolds is to straight men. Like
That's the truth.
Andrew Garfield is like everything to me. Like literally, like it's not even so much about his acting.
Everything to
It's not even
me.
so much about his acting, his personality. I don't know what the fuck he's like off camera, but like he is literally one of the most attractive men I have ever seen in my life. And I
That's
think he is a shit Peter Parker because he's too fucking cool and too fucking attractive to be Peter Parker. But oh my god, he is the sexiest Spider-Man I have ever like I can think of. Like when I think of Spider-Man, I think, oh my god, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man is so sexy. Like literally, like when I think of Spider-Man, I only
honestly
think of him.
Gabs, that's me with Evan Peters. I fucking love Evan
Yes.
Peters. He's so
Except Andrew Garfield is conventionally attractive and
I don't give a
people look at Andrew Garfield and agree he's attractive.
What do you mean people don't agree that
I
Evan
don't
Peters is
actually know what Evan
attractive?
Peters looks like off the top of my
Evan
head, so I couldn't
Peters
tell
is
you. But I'm just
beautiful.
saying,
I
like,
love him.
Andrew Garfield is like a popular
Yeah.
choice. But anyways,
And
I just
then
think he's so beautiful. Go ahead.
I went to my friend Allie's house on Sunday because she was having people over to watch wrestling. And I think I mayhaps enjoy
Yeah,
wrestling
I saw
now.
your tweets and I was like, I'm kind of surprised that you weren't into it because it's
It's
like
like
half
it's
naked
literally
women punching each other.
no, but like not even just the women, the men too. I'm into it. I literally
Okay.
like if you just put it all into like nerdy terms, it's literally just like a bunch of grown people like role playing on
I mean,
stage.
yeah, yeah.
It's so brilliant. Like Ali showed me a video and like it was like one of like the storylines of this like guy and I literally like I literally almost started crying watching the storyline. It
Okay,
was so good.
I don't
Like
want anyone to be offended by this question. Is wrestling considered like WWE wrestling? Is that considered like a sport if it's all for show?
like I
Because
don't
wouldn't it
know
be considered more like
because
stunt work?
yeah, it's like intense work. Like
Yeah.
these people like get severely injured, but like it's like very much like so what I learned is like it's like a huge improv. Like they don't plan these fights
Okay.
like they plan like who wins the fights and stuff and how long it takes, but like they're talking to each other on like on like the stage about like what they're gonna do next and what they're gonna try next.
Oh.
Like if there's like really like this is like all from Allie, so like I'm not
Uh-huh.
the expert here, but she's like, oh, like if there's like a really difficult spot, like they'll do it before, like they'll go over it before, but usually like they like essentially like improv on stage like the whole
Okay.
fight, and I'm like that's so much more impressive,
That is
and
a lot more
like
impressive than like normal like middle-aged white guys make it sound. They always make it sound like it's so fake, like nobody cares. Like, you know,
No, it's so
that
fucking
does
good.
sound like really
The
cool.
storylines, bro, the fucking storylines are insane. Like they're
Next time we
fucking.
hang out, maybe I'll make you show me some.
I'll have to get
Yeah, get
recommendations
Allie.
from Allie.
I
But
know
like,
Allie. Bring Allie to the party.
yes, I and apparently there's gonna be some of them are gonna be the people who like I saw are gonna be at ComicCon. So I'm like, Allie,
Oh,
we gotta go, we gotta
that's
go.
awesome.
But yeah, I think I like wrestling now, so that's another thing for me to be obsessed with, which I
Mhm.
don't need to be obsessed with.
Fair.
Yeah.
Um,
So yes,
Before we
I'm
get to it,
done.
you did just remind me. I have a panel that I will be hosting at New York Comic Con, which I'm, freaking the fuck out over because oh my god, like technically I presented at New York Comic Con before, but it was at their shitty little anime fest they did a few years ago, and
Mhm.
it was literally in the middle of the dealer's room. Liz was there. It was,
Yeah, it
it
was
was,
it
it
was
was.
in the middle of the deal. Like it
I'm
was
not
such an
exaggerating. Like it
awful
was
panel
literally a
location.
stage set up in the middle of the dealer's room. And like
Yeah.
that would be fine for some panels, but like mine was literally like a music presentation. Like it was not a good match. But anyways, it's a different panel. It's slightly different. It still has a lot of music in it, but it's more about the statistics behind the music too. So I get to put my degree to use. And Liz will
Woo!
try to be there. It's 9:15 p.m. on Friday of New York Comic Con. Liz isn't sure if she'll be able to make it yet, but
No, I'll be
oh, you
there. I'll
will?
be
Okay,
there.
slay.
I just no. When I said I didn't know, because I didn't know the time or the day. Like Friday 9:15. Fuck yeah! Even if I'm like at home working, I'll be back in the city well
Yeah.
before that time. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, slay. So yeah, so it's if you guys happen to be going to Comic-Con, please feel free
I'll
to
be
come say
there.
hi to us. I have no idea what I'm gonna be wearing yet.
I
But
will most likely not be cosplaying for the panel, and I will be cosplaying the other days.
that's fair. I will only be there Friday, but I'll probably be in Genshin or something just so I can get like photos because I desperately need photos. But yeah, so that's exciting. And then other stuff. I just submitted our panels to Katsu, including our Omegaverse panel that was really fun at Hallmat.
Mhm.
Except we kind of revamped it a bit to be specifically about Omegaverse as opposed to just like our panel, a live show.
Yeah.
Obviously we'll still talk, or our podcast live show. We'll still talk about the pod, but it's going to be mostly the show, the trope. Anyways, that is all the updates.
I'll
So,
be at ColossalCon East this weekend. If you
oh
see me, say
yeah,
hi.
yes, that too.
I will be very inebriated the entire weekend, so apologize. I apologize, but like,
Also, you don't.
not
It's colossal,
really.
so
Not
yeah.
really.
Everyone else will also be drunk. Okay, so Liz has not opened my document yet
Yeah.
because I tweeted earlier today that I had a really terrible trope that I picked out. And it's honestly, I didn't really even realize like consider this to be a trope in fanfic until recently. So there's this big controversy in the past week in the Overwatch League pro scene. So a famous tank player was called out for being essentially, this is downplaying it a lot, but essentially just being creepy in girls' DMs
Hmm.
and saying really fucked up shit in these DMs. However, it came out later that this was all taken out of context and that this guy met these girls in HealSlut servers. So I was like, what
Oh,
the
I know what
fuck?
this
I
is.
was like, I know what a heel slut is in theory, but what actually are heel sluts? Like, what is the trope a heel slut? Because my first experience with heel slut was actually in a fanfic, in an Overwatch fanfic years ago when I was just looking at Overwatch fanfics. It's one that popped
Yeah.
up. I didn't know what it was, and I read it, and I remember being like I read part of it. I didn't finish it because I was like, this is a little too weird for me. But
Hmm.
so that was my only experience. I didn't realize that like this was an actual like community of people. So, for those of you guys who have no idea what I'm talking about, I got a bit of an FAQ from the Heel Sluts Reddit. And this, I believe this FAQ was made by the creator of the subreddit, whose username is Leviathan Lust. But I'm not 100%, so I don't want to give credit where I don't know where it's due. I didn't take everything from the FAQ, just parts of it, and I'm not going to read it all because Liz, if you're looking, it looks like a lot. Okay,
Okay.
so here's what TLDR. Heel sluts are submissive healers in video games who take pleasure in sexualizing their job with BDSM tropes, namely DS. And now this was interesting to me because BDSM has always been described to me as like bondage, discipline, sadism, and masochism. Never, I've never seen it split up into BD, DS, SM. But the way that this person split it up and this community splits it up is bondage and discipline, dominance and submission, sadism and masochism, and all of that being represented in the acronym, which I thought was interesting. So heel sluts as a fetish has been around for several years, dating back to the days from when healing first became a thing in video games, so since the beginning. But nobody is sure who the first heel slut was, but they assume that Warcraft was the first step in its establishment in modern BDSM. The name heel sluts also doesn't have any like original like creator, but they're pretty sure it was a perverted person. Yeah, to put it bluntly, a lot of the fetish's origins are unknown and may stay that way, but it's easy to assume that there was a vague direction it came from. This subreddit in particular, where I got a lot of this information from, was actually created back in 2016, shortly after Overwatch's release, because, and I'll get more into why Overwatch plays such a big part in it later. And then for those of you guys who are totally unfamiliar with video games and don't understand like these terms that might come up where it's like heel slut, dom, DPS dom, tank slut, like it's so tanks are basically the shields. DPS are basically the attack, the sword, if you will. And then healers are, they heal or they provide support in some other way. And that's where those terms come from. And then I'm just gonna read directly from the FAQ, the part that I like quoted here, because I think the way they wrote it is just very funny. So, you got a pretty good idea on how to be a sub or a dom, but you still don't know exactly what to do. And the answer is anything. Really? Part of this fetish's fun is coming up with the creative ways to integrate BDSM or just plain lewd things with your games. If you look around on the subreddit, you'll find that there's plenty of heel slut games out there that will make the player do various acts while attempting to play their game, punishing bad plays and rewarding good plays. Think of it like a shot game where you drink every time X happens. It's the same concept basically, but that's just one example. And then they gave a bunch of examples using, other video games and just like actually like how it relates to like real sex stuff. So here are some examples. A dom orders their sub to keep their heal beam on them at all times if they're playing Medic from TF2 or Mercy from Overwatch. If they don't, the dom will start counting. This number can be the amount of spanks a sub needs to endure. A dom uses a sub's Bluetooth sex toy while playing, and the better the sub plays, the more pleasure they receive. The worse they play, the less pleasure they get. A dom might post nudes and expose their sub, if the sub is okay with it, to a porn channel on the Discord server as punishment for losing a game. A dom and sub might not even need to actively play a game and simply just enjoy each other. A dom might coax their sub into playing League with a meme build and rewarding them for every kill they manage to get, equating to time they can touch themselves after a match. Liz is like, "Ooh, that sounds fun."
This is a fucking lie. League of Legends players don't have sex. This is a fucking lie.
You're right. My bad. My information is invalid. It's outdated.
Lie.
And then there's also if cosmetic customization is possible, a dom can pick out what their sub like character wears, especially if there's sexy or humiliating options. A dom can make the game intentionally harder for the sub by using like bad items or bad cosmetics and gradually improving them as they serve for better rewards. If a couple's into cuckolding or trading, the dom could put their sub on a line in a series of matches, and then winner gets the sub for the day. And if they are switches, they could play games against each other to see who tops, who bottoms that time. It's actually was really interesting to me to see how it worked. And I was like, I probably actually know a lot more people like this than I thought I did. And I was like, wow, it's definitely something. And then I found a Kotaku article that interviewed the creator of the subreddit, Leviathan Lust, and some of their quotes are pretty funny. And then I'm just going to read this like blurb that I took from Kotaku directly, so I don't misrepresent any of the words that were said. Mercy rezzed the community, says Leviathan Lust, the moderator who runs r/HealSluts, a subreddit where people who are into that kind of erotic play meet. Mercy is Overwatch's most recognizable support character. She breathed life into the fetish. An incredibly beautiful girl that heals people, it's a perfect fit. For whatever reason, Overwatch is the game that's reinvigorated the scene. The subreddit almost entirely consists of handmade Mercy tributes, which itself dovetails out of a surprisingly large hamlet of people animating porn based on the game's characters. It's difficult to know why this universe, which lacks anything slightly PG-13, has inspired such an intense sexual fascination. But it also doesn't matter. Overwatch has one of the most vibrant, inspiring communities in the world. If some of them have discovered a way to use a game they love to explore their sexuality, that should be celebrated, not feared. I am a submissive heel slut, said a trans female.
Speak your truth, Bessie.
And again, this is directly taken from the article. I don't know if I would call someone a trans female. I would just maybe say trans woman, trans female. I don't like using the word female personally, but that's just me. It has absolutely helped me come to terms with some of my kinks. I was actually afraid to talk about my kinks until I became active in the community. Overwatch probably shouldn't introduce mechanics built specifically for heel sledding. This community is small. At the time of writing this article, the HealSluts subreddit has only 1,600 subscribers. The Discord group has 600 members. But video games are full of people, and people like to bone. The sooner we come to terms with that, the sooner it will feel normal. And now, I don't know about the Discord. I didn't catch the date on when this article was written. I could look it up, but I'm lazy. But at the time this article was written, the subreddit only had 1,600 subscribers. At the time of writing these notes, it has 114,000. So, people are into this, very into this. I have no idea how much the Discord has, but based on the fact that, like, you know, it's, I would easily say there's definitely like, several thousand people in these discords for this community. Yeah, so probably. it's a thriving kink community. Anyways, so like I said, my first interaction with heel sledding was through fan fiction. I didn't, or at least I didn't know if I knew anybody who was into this prior to that. And then I will just like to give a warning, like anything else with BDSM and heavy BDSM, there often are these dead dove-esque topics that come into play. I noticed in the heel sledding fics that I was examining, most of it was forced feminization or like sissifying, like sissying as they call it. A lot of non-consensual, sometimes like straight up rape, and it's not even like for a scene. Sometimes like that is just straight up how the fic goes. And then there's also a lot of weird race fetishizing. I think, though, that's also a bit of an issue in the BDSM community anyways. I don't think that's specific to heel sledding. And just other stuff like that. But in the fic that I found, because this was the fic that I first found years ago, that I like read a couple paragraphs of, and I was like, I'm gonna put this one down.
Respectfully, I'm done.
I was like, it's not for me. However, like I said, I think it's very interesting, so I wanted to bring it up. And then it is an Overwatch fic, like I mentioned. It's pretty explicit pretty quickly. I only took the first part of it. I think I didn't take anything that had anything like race fetish or anything like that, but I do know that was in there. I don't think it was actually tagged as having that, but when I did like a quick scroll through, I saw like there was something with like Baptiste, and it was really weird, and I was like, oh, this is icky. But this was like the shortest one, so I was like, okay, I will just take the blurb and run.
Yeah.
So like I said, I'm not condoning anything that's in this fic, neither is Liz. We're not doing that as a podcast either. It's more just like, this is the trope. If anybody, you know, has stuff from this trope that doesn't contain these taboo things, taboo might be a wrong word, but just stuff that me and Liz are squicked out by, let me know. But from what I could tell, this is kind of what the community is. So this fic is called Life of a Heel Slut by Punished Varmint. That's all one word, VARMINT. And the reason actually that I got squicked out to this before I even got to any of like the porn when I first read this was because it's like So heel slutting can be a role play, right? Like you can be those characters or you can be yourself playing those characters. And this fic is like it's like it's an Overwatch game, but the characters like you'll see what I mean. So it's like if for those of you guys unfamiliar, so it's like Overwatch is a 6v6 like player versus player game. So there's 6 players on each team and they all can pick characters. You can't pick the same character on the same team, but you know, both teams could have a Mercy, for example. So it kind of I got weirded out because like this fic is like the characters. So it's like
Mhm.
Mercy is fighting in an Overwatch game right now, and there's Reinhardt fighting with her. But it's like it's not like the characters from the lore. It's the characters from the player versus player game, if that makes sense.
Like they are currently in a match of Overwatch.
They are in a
It's
match
not
of
like
Overwatch. This is breaking the fourth wall. Like they are in an Overwatch match, and they
Like
are the
it's-
characters.
like it's not like Cassidy and Ash's like backstory.
Exactly.
Like
It's
it's
nothing
like
to do with
they're
the
in
lore.
a game.
There's nothing
They're
to do with
in
the
a
lore.
game.
They are on the King's Row map, and they are fighting a game.
Okay.
So that again, so like that takes me out of it, but just so you know, excuse me, I believe this first one is just Reaper Mercy. I don't know if anyone else is talking. It's from Mercy's POV, but like I think Reaper does say a lot of stuff. So Liz, how up to are you to saying some fun things?
Not very up to it.
But would
gonna
you?
be honest. Considering I'm in a dorm and I really don't know how thick these all walls are.
Okay.
Not
Okay,
much.
just because you're new to the dorm and you don't want to start shit yet, I will
Like,
do it
my
for you this
roommate's
time.
like, what the fuck? The person across, like next door, what the fuck is this person reading? And out
Like, why are
loud,
they reading it
nonetheless.
out loud?
Like,
Okay. In that case, I will read for Reaper. I'll let you read for Mercy.
thanks, bestie.
Okay, we'll
I
start.
love you.
As war raged on the streets of King's Row, a frazzled healer desperately made her way back to the front line from her starting base. A fatigued and stressed Mercy flew into a nearby building completely out of breath, her translucent golden wings folding neatly behind her as the doctor landed gingerly back on her feet. Despite the advantages of angelic flight, the exhausted healer still had to make much of the journey on her own 2 feet, a fact which didn't seem to matter one bit to her impatient teammate. "Where have you been?" growled Reaper through his imposing face mask. "I've been calling for you,"
Sorry.
gasped Mercy, still struggling to catch her breath.
Everyone is so spread out. And then after Roadhog ran ahead, I had no one to protect me from the flanking.
"I'm not interested in your excuses," Reaper snarled. "If I'm going to be carrying you through this match, then I expect you to be healing me 24/7, not wandering away to get picked off." Ordinarily, Mercy would have given the arrogant bully a piece of her mind, but she really needed this win and couldn't risk pissing off her teammates. This is me playing this game. If that meant swallowing her pride, then so be it.
Sorry.
She sighed with her eyes cast downward like a scolded puppy.
I'll try better, but it would be really helpful if we had another tank to peel for the back line.
And again, for Overwatch players, you can tell how old this fic is because this is before roll Q. Reaper threw his shotguns onto the ground so suddenly that Mercy took a step back in reflex. "I'm getting real sick of your entitled attitude. You supports are all alike, thinking just because you do the job no one else wants that your shit doesn't stink. Well, if you aren't going to be healing, then it's about time you find some other way of being useful around here." Before Mercy even had time to guess what he possibly meant by that, let alone react, Reaper had grabbed her firmly by the shoulders and shoved the blonde healer down onto her knees. Oh my god, we haven't read like straight up porn to each other in a while.
Yeah.
He had his pants down to his ankles in record time, and the thickest cock Mercy had ever seen sprang out to slap her across the cheek with a meaty thwop.
Hate that, like, that, I mean, like, it paints a visceral
It
image,
really
like, the
does.
thwop,
You can
but I hate
absolutely
it.
picture this scene in your head
I
right now.
fucking hate it.
It was throbbing angrily in her face, the dark
Angrily?
veins running along the shaft pulsing with need. But Mercy didn't have much time to dwell on the matter before its massive girth was punching down her throat. What had begun as a routine battle in London was quickly spiraling into something unseemly as Reaper grabbed the convenient golden halo atop his support's head and used it as leverage to fuck the pretty blonde's face. Mercy certainly didn't have much say in the matter, stuck down on her knees and forced to deep throat her teammates' cocks in in hopes that getting him off might lead to a victory. "You were made for sucking dick," snarled Reaper.
Okay, bestie.
As he tested the limits of the poor girl's gag reflex, plunging his shaft down her throat in long, steady strokes. Each time he pulled out with just the tip nestled between her lips, he swore he could feel her tongue flicking upward to lick the head. "If you healed as well as you sucked cock, maybe we wouldn't be so far behind." Bessie, I think you might be far behind because you're making your teammates suck you off in the middle of a game.
Yeah,
Maybe
bestie,
not
like,
because...
respectfully, get back to battle.
Respectfully, your team's fighting a 4v6. Get back in there.
Literally.
Mercy certainly wasn't in any position to argue against his remarks. She wasn't so much blowing him as much as instead as just kneeling in place as Reaper used her angelic headgear to skull fuck her to his own ends. Tears were flowing freely from her eyes and smearing her thick mascara across both cheeks, making Mercy look properly whored out. But that wasn't enough for Reaper.
What a descriptor.
With a cruel
properly whored out.
And with a cruel smile behind his mask, he reached into his pocket for a secret weapon, while his other hand yanked her mouth down to the root. As soon as her lips touched his groin, Mercy felt the first spurt of cum shoot down her throat. With a hoarse squeal, the healer struggled against his grip to no avail as he inseminated her belly with hot spunk. Oh god, that was like... That might have been one of the worst things I've ever read out loud.
Wait, Gabs, you don't like hot spunk?
Just inseminated her belly with hot spunk. What a piece of literature. Scott Fitzgerald is shaking in his fucking grave right now.
I gotta say, the writers using a lot of descriptors.
I do have to say, like as much shit as like this type of pornographic writing gets, like straight up erotica gets for being the way that it is and written, people just consider it written relatively poorly. I will argue that it has some of the best descriptors and like visual images that you can imagine what's going on in this type of writing.
Meaty thwop. Bro, you can't tell me you had no idea.
The inseminating of the belly with hot spunk.
You can see that in your head.
You really can. That's the thing. Like, you can see this entire fic playing out, and that's what makes me like.
Like,
anyways,
what the fuck are you doing writing this instead of like, you know,
writing a book or something? Anyways, but not content to simply settle for humiliating the healer by making her swallow every drop, Reaper pulled out a black Sharpie, tilted Mercy's head back with her lips still around his dick, and wrote "HealSlut" across her forehead in big bold letters. Mercy,
of course, you, bitch. Mercy has bangs to cover it.
I guess it depends on the skin.
If we're going with base skin, Bestie has like bangs to cover like some of it.
That's true. Mercy, of course.
Not the... Never mind. Sorry, I'll stop talking.
No, you're good. You know I'll talk about Overwatch anytime. Mercy, of course, had no idea what he had just written on her, and as he pulled out and shot the last few drops of cum across those black letters, she was too busy gasping for air to think about it, but she knew it couldn't possibly end well for her. Anyways, and then she basically just gets passed around the team, from my understanding, but I cut it off there. And I do have to say something else I forgot to mention. This past month, I was invited to apply for an Overwatch 2 position at Blizzard, and then rejected.
Fuck them.
Imagine if I wasn't rejected and then I went on to
and this is what you're reading. Imagine.
This is why I got rejected, probably. No.
They literally said
they were hiring internally and just posted it publicly. So my friend who works at Blizzard recommended me for the job. I had a really good shot at getting it, but they had someone in mind already. It was just one of those like, we have to post it, which I think is bullshit.
Another time.
But yeah, anyways, Blizzard hire me.
I don't know why. I was just thinking, have you seen that Harry Styles spit on Chris Pine?
What?
Did you not see this video on Twitter? Have you not seen all the drama with the "Don't Worry, Darling" movie?
Okay, so funny you say that. I literally watched a TikTok while I was setting up where someone gave a recap of the drama, but it was very like baseline.
I'm so sorry, this is so off topic, but literally there's a video of like Harry Styles like spitting on.
No, good for him. Is it part of the movie?
They're in the movie, and Chris Pine just like, okay. Literally the amount of memes that have come out of this, like, so
Liz,
Chris
like,
Pine, they're both in the movie.
Okay.
And like Chris Pine is just so. There's an interview where Harry Styles literally goes like, I really love this movie because it feels like a movie you'll see in the theater, and Chris Pine's just sitting there like.
I have seen that picture of Chris Pine just sitting there.
My
and
favorite
I
is
didn't know where it came from.
Headphones.
Yeah, the
headphones. No, this was a different. And no, but so apparently, like Harry Styles, the director, and Florence Pugh all hate each other. So it's like.
But I
so
heard
like,
that Harry Styles and the director were dating.
Yeah, but they're not. I don't think they are anymore. Like I don't think they like each other. But so you can see like. They all had to sit together for the Venice Film Festival, and they literally have like the other actors in the movie buffering in between them. It's so funny. It's so funny.
This sounds like a nightmare of a movie that makes me want to see it more.
Oh, I actually really want to see this movie. Like,
the only thing holding
genuinely.
me back is that it's like a psych thriller, so I don't know if I'll be able to.
I'll go see it first.
See,
and
you
let
see
you
it.
know.
You let me know if I can handle it. Okay. Back
Sorry
to
for that
HealSlutting.
tangent. I guess there would maybe be some spitting in this, so it's connected.
Sure, Liz.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so for HealSlutting, like I said, this is not I think I can speak for both of us when I say that this is, at least the fanfic side of it, is not really for us, just with all of the everything that comes with I mean, maybe
That's going down.
it's more just like everything that seems to be associated with it. It seems to be kind of the negative side of the community, and that's not really what I'm about. And like, I'm not like a practitioner of BDSM, but I'm not opposed to it either. When and for me, BDSM that I wouldn't be opposed to would only be dom and like sub. It would never be. It would be very vanilla BDSM. Like I don't think I could handle some of the extreme stuff and like any of the extreme role playing that goes on. So it's like, for me, that's off the table. Liz, I don't want you to make you out your like kink life.
Play League of Legends. I'm a fucking virgin. What are you talking about?
I mean, I play Overwatch. I'm a top 500 Overwatch player, Liz. You think I have sex?
No, I play League of Legends, bro. That's worse.
It really is.
That's fucking worse.
Yeah, it is. I don't know if I've told the story on here before, but Liz got me to download League our freshman year before I got Overwatch. And so I spent, my ancient computer spent a full day downloading it. I opened it up. In my first ever game, I was in an AI game. Somebody on my team was yelling at me in the chat. So I
fucking love League of Legends, baby.
I uninstalled
Let's
it
go.
and never played it again.
I would infinitely prefer to play League of Legends over Overwatch, and if that just
Well,
tells you anything about my psyche,
it's also different like skills involved. Like I quite a few like top 500 people that I'm friends with in Overwatch are ass at League. There's so many different, like, it's just a different
because
skill.
it's a completely different,
right?
Like,
it's
game.
not an FPS, so it's like, so it's like I don't think it's wrong to prefer one or the other. Anyways, all that to say, HealSlutting, yes or no, Liz?
Depending on the person in the right circumstances, like mayhaps, but also like probably not. Like I don't like this like fan fiction side, especially with like the race fetishization involved with it. Not my cup of tea, bestie.
Neither.
So no.
Okay. Slay. Liz, your turn.
So I got randomly assigned Hookerfic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I have some like really weird feral energy tonight, and I really apologize for it.
No, Liz, that's not what's weird. What's weird is how not feral you are about. You're just like, yeah, I got Hookerfic.
I'm just
feeling a little
tired.
feral.
I'm tired. I've been up since 9 a.m. doing schoolwork. Well, actually, no, I've been up since like 7:30, but I've been doing schoolwork since 9 a.m. But So I do want to, before we get into it, I would like to discuss the controversy involved. Some people believe that Hookerfic glorifies sex work and demeans real sex workers and shouldn't be written. Just wanted to put that out there. I'm not going to say one way or the other, but like I do agree, like sometimes it might be romanticizing it.
I think
it might be glorifying it.
We've talked about this a lot in fanfic, where it's like there's a lot of stuff that gets written about where it's not necessarily bad either way, but then a lot of, at the same time, people do a lot of problematic mistakes with their writing and will often like Liz is saying, romanticize something that really shouldn't be romanticized.
Mm-hmm. Also, just a heads up, some of these fics can deal with very sensitive topics. So please read the tags if you're going to read any of these fics, because I'll mention it more when I get down to it. But essentially, a hooker fic is a fic where one or more characters is a sex worker, usually a prostitute. And so these fics can show the more realistic sides of sex work, and this maybe usually is where it gets into darker themes, like trigger warning, but like there's like can be like rape, obviously, like just people being like forced into it due to like unforeseen circumstances and like kind of stuff like that. Sometimes there's like underage stuff involved because like that can happen in the real I mean it does happen in the real world where like people who are young are kind of forced into these situations by
Sex
people who are
trafficking
older
is a
than
real issue.
yeah.
Yeah, and
So
yeah.
yeah, just massive trigger warning, and sometimes fics like they do like to show this more real side, and yeah. But then there are also other fics that are I how the article described it was they're Pretty Woman-esque, whereas the sex worker is rescued from a life off the streets by a client, which is what I definitely see a lot more of because it's definitely the more romanticized version
Yeah, I
of
think I sorry, I just say I think you also see a lot of like sugar baby fics mixed in
yes.
with that one. I've definitely read a few of those.
Yeah, I've read it more on like the sugar baby side versus
Hmm.
like the necessarily just like the plain hooker fic.
Hmm.
Um yeah, I guess. Um sorry, I'm just trying to
You're good.
uh okay. The most common ship dynamic in this trope is where one character is like a sex worker and the other character is like a client. That's like the most common. As we said, like it's really popular for it's like where the sex worker is quote unquote saved by their client and they don't have to like live that life anymore. Though there are certain cases where like both characters in the ship can be prostitutes, and usually that might be where they work in like a brothel or something similar or just anywhere. Um, Hookerfics do not always have to be an AU. Some take place in canon universes where either a character was a prostitute either pre or post canon, usually like depending on like circumstances and stuff like that. I saw like a common one was like people having to do it to like get through college or something like that. You know, and I mean like we see a lot of people who do like OnlyFans to pay
Hmm.
for college now. That's like definitely a very real thing we see in the real world. Rent boys is the term that's usually used in slash fics featuring
Hmm.
prostitutes. If you don't know, rent boy is just like a male, like is used like for like usually gay male prostitutes, I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
So usually that is used instead of like a hooker fic in slash fics as well. It's like because it's also considered like more it's a more easily like romanticized versus like using like hooker or prostitute. That's
Oh,
like what the
yeah.
article said. Like you can
Yeah.
romanticize it more, or it like quote unquote sounds nicer. I don't know
Yeah,
if I like
it
necessarily.
sounds closer to the sugar baby universe
Yeah,
than
sugar baby, where it's like, yeah,
also
you're my sugar
before we
baby.
continue, just I don't think Liz or I are very familiar on what is considered acceptable to call sex workers in this specific profession. Like
Yes,
it like is
definitely.
prostitution like considered appropriate? Is hooker considered appropriate? So just kind of a blanket apology if you or someone you know, or if you just know better, is in this profession and we are using wrong terms. Please just let us know.
Yeah, literally, like I just more am using it like for
This is
because
how
that's
it's
what the
written,
trope's
right?
called.
Right.
Um, if you like actually look in my notes, I more or less try to avoid it and use the word prostitute
I did
instead.
notice that. I want to put that out there in case anybody is like,
Yeah.
"Hold up.
Hold
I
up.
know more." If
And
you know
like,
more, please tell us.
yeah, literally like please let me know because like actually like reading the trope name, I was like very uncomfortable with the trope name myself, but also like I don't know because I'm not in the profession and maybe it is a totally acceptable term for
Hmm.
those who are within this profession. So I would be very interested to hear like kind of more the appropriate terminology. So I have some like fandoms that this trope is very, very popular in. Usually not for great reasons, like not
Yeah,
within
I'm
like the
seeing that.
romanticized term wise. So just like massive trigger warning for some of the things I'm about to talk about. So within the Batman fandom, characters that spent time homeless are usually used in this trope. Jason Todd is a very, very common one, as like in his like teen years, like he was homeless. So people sometimes like write that he had to like turn to that to like make money, or maybe he was like forced into that. Um, Harry Potter. So I literally just copied this because I'm like, I don't want to have to think about rewriting this because this like low-key makes me uncomfortable. So this is
Maybe
literally
you
it's
don't
like
you don't have to go into detail if you don't want to, or if you want me to read it, I'm happy to.
no, I can read it. I'm just
Okay.
like it's just like massive trigger warning, peeps. Like just letting you know, like this, like I was like uncomfortable writing this because like just like you know,
Yeah, it's
so yeah, because like it does like this trope does delve in on like dark themes and stuff like that, where it's like those stories are important to like write about because they're important to like
stop.
know and like learn, but like you know. So Harry Potter is especially renowned for dark fic AUs where members of the Order of the Phoenix are forced into sex work for survival. Also extremely popular is the opposite circumstance, where known Death Eaters are forced by lack of choice or ministry magic decree to use sex work to support themselves. In Greece, interestingly, these were both often different genres, not just slash. So like they're used in both like het and like slash fics, commonly with like Draco X Ginny or Drary. Um, yeah, so it's just like usually used. It's a common dark fic trope.
Okay.
Apparently the most popular fandom like that this is in, not shocking, Supernatural baby and
Supernatural, we can kind of just assume is the most popular for literally everything, though.
everything.
So,
But so this is common in both RPF and FPF.
okay.
I don't want to cover the RPF ones because like that's just bestie.
It,
It's like
our
it's not
we've
in
talked before about how RPF is our squick, and we are entitled to that.
yeah, and so it's not imperative to the lore of this trope as it is to Omegaverse, so I am choosing to omit it.
Fair
Thank
enough.
you. But so within the FPF, which is for those who don't know, it's like it's literally just like the fictional characters from the show.
Real, yeah.
Um,
RPF is real person fiction.
FPF is like
Oh yeah, yeah.
fiction,
Right,
person
but I'm saying,
fiction.
oh, I'm sorry, I thought you said
Yeah.
RPF, and I was just, but I also
Oh,
want to make sure anybody listening knows that that's what RPF means.
yeah. So there are two very common scenarios within FPF, Hookerfic and the supernatural fandom. So, John left Sam and Dean as teenagers without enough money, and Dean would do anything to look after Sam, or Sam ran out of money at Stanford and did what he had to for textbooks. And you know what? As someone in school,
You know,
those
I
textbooks
do
are
get
fucking
that one.
expensive.
I
Those
do
textbooks
get
are
that one.
fucking expensive.
Very much
Oh my
so.
God. So yeah, I don't know if like this is not necessarily, are you okay?
Sorry, I just realized I pulled up a Discord message because and then I forgot that I was screen recording. I'm
Oh
so
my
sorry,
gosh.
besties. I was getting the pings and I was like, who is pinging me?
Please leave me alone. But
Sorry if you guys had to
so
see that.
like this isn't necessarily a trope I really read. Oh, I guess we'll talk about that more at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like getting ahead of myself. I'm so sorry.
No,
I'm
that's
out
okay.
of
You're
it.
you're doing great. You're doing great. Do not sweat it.
Um so out of all the fics, I chose a more funny one, a funny take on this trope.
Thank you. I
And
think we need that.
so, because like, yeah, like it's what we needed. I really didn't want to just read porn, and I don't think we really have enough time to cover the nuances of a very serious fic.
Yeah.
So, this is a stark fic, and it's rated mature,
Liz.
and it's no, because literally this was the only funny one. This was the only funny one, and Styles gets mistaken for a prostitute.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm
And
down.
it's like actually very I skimmed it, but from what I read, it was funny.
Okay.
So
I trust you.
it's called Three Phone Calls by Panda Bomb on AO3. I will be reading from for Styles because it's from his POV and he's in most of it. You'll read for Derek, and I think
Lydia.
no, she doesn't actually talk. Why am I'm being such a fake fucking fan?
Are you sure?
No, does she talk?
I'm
No, I don't think she does.
she'd
Who
insist
talks?
then she definitely talks.
Fuck.
At least in the
I'll be
first part.
I'll be Lydia because it's for like 2 lines.
Okay. I can do it. I
Uh,
don't mind.
no, because I need you to be
I can be
someone
both.
else. I need you to be Scott.
I could be all of them. I don't mind. I make you voice
Okay.
everybody.
Yeah. You want to be Styles too? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Um, okay. In a sleek industrial-style tap room downtown, with the light rain drifting onto the streets outside and reflecting the neon and traffic signs in a glowing haze, Styles leaned against a polished quartz bar top, and he looked damn good. So I did a break because I had to get to the meat of the fic, and
Yeah,
like
I
I
was like,
it
wait, where
just
are we? Where are we?
no. That's like how it opens, and it's like time to go back to explain what's happening. And so essentially, like Styles is going to hang out with Lydia. They live in NYC. Styles is a dog walker to rich people.
I
And so
see.
he's talking to Lydia and he's like, I have a date tonight with one of my very rich clients. I need to look good. And so she's like, I'll help you look good, bestie. And so she like does him up and he looks like beautiful or whatever. And so and he looked damn good. That's what it means.
Mm-hmm.
So Styles is a dog walker to the rich. Just that's what you need to know. That's what he means when he says client. It's the person whose dog he is walking.
Okay.
Um Okay. He'd never even come close to looking this good in his entire life. Lydia had let him keep the black pants.
How would we even get you out of them?
But he added a gunmetal gray button up to the ensemble, along with a fitted blazer style normally only wore to funerals. She insisted on his black boots.
We need to remind everyone you're not straight.
And had fixed his disastrous hair effortlessly, somehow managing to squeeze a miracle out of a hair product bottle. Then she'd gone to town on his brows, forcibly. You know what? I thought I'd cut out more of this. Damn. Never mind. But we'll still keep
Do you
reading
want
it.
to cut out more or no?
No, it's like 3 lines.
Oh,
You're
okay.
already
Wait,
halfway
no.
through.
This is the important stuff. We can't cut this out.
Forcibly pinched his lips until they were pink and a little swollen, and fitted his button up with a bunch of safety pins along his back, making him look like a fucking sloot. We
Yeah, a
love
little
it.
bit.
So yeah, he looked incredible, but it was only because through the power of a girl genius and the magic of fashion, he'd been turned into a sexy pincushion. And now it seemed like his state wouldn't even show, which meant no free dinner, time wasted, and one less dog to walk. It was 40 minutes past the allotted time of arrival when Styles decided, fuck it, hollered the bartender over, and ordered the absolute cheapest drink in the house. When it arrived, he pounded the near entirety out of it immediately. It was sour, but so was he. So they were perfect for each other. Styles had always known he'd found his soulmate over a glass of booze. Sorry, he'd find his soulmate over a glass of booze. This is you.
Are you alone?
Some guy asked from behind Styles' shoulder. Styles huffed, took a final swig, and waved a hand flippantly. Gaze never leaving the two expensive black quartz under his arm. He said bitterly, "Yes, yeah, I'm alone. I'm assuming you have eyes."
But how?
Because that ass muncher chickened the fuck out. Oh, hi. The over-the-shoulder guy was attractive enough to be literally terrifying. He wore a fitted designer suit as though he'd just gotten off from a job with a salary. Yet his infuriatingly chiseled face was underlined with a 5 o'clock shadow, like he was the one paying the salaries. This
What
is
are
you.
you drinking?
Ass. Style tore his eyes away in order to stare blankly at his empty glass. I don't even know.
Me
The
at
man
cons.
huffed. The man huffed, amused, and Styles thought he might develop cataracts from enduring his smile.
I'll make a guess then.
You do that, he replied, nearly breathless. I'm sorry, I've been like reading all day.
We haven't done this in a month, Liz. You're doing great.
The man sat down at the bar stool next to him. Styles was still not quite understanding this entire development, so he just blinked and mouth breathed in silence.
What's your name?
Styles, he answered, perhaps too quickly. When the man seemed a bit confused, Styles went on. It's not my real name, but my real name, you don't need to know it. Because it's too hard to pronounce, died in his throat because he realized he was probably being rude. He rushed up. I mean, just Styles. My name is Styles. Everyone calls me that. The man nodded, accepting.
I'm Derek. I see already where the fucking mix-up is coming from.
Yes, it's really funny, actually. They shook hands. The situation was finally starting to dawn on him, so Styles smiled, determined to salvage whatever he could find. He could have a shitty night out. It's good to meet you, Styles said, and congratulated himself silently. That had seemed functional. Derek smiled back, but his eyes swiftly left Styles' face to quite obviously pursue his neck and collarbone. After a moment of blatant staring, complete with a raised eyebrow, a tense mouth, and flared nostril, he coughed and turned away to place an order with the bartender. Styles made a note to buy Lydia flowers. After their orders were in, Derek turned back and said,
So, you got stood up?
I love the face you're making.
Sorry, no, Derek is a much more constipated face, so I gotta. So, you got stood up.
Styles laughed a little, shrugging awkwardly. Hi, yeah, I guess so, but in retrospect, I'm not really surprised. Derek frowned and narrowed his eyes, seeming truly puzzled. My date was a little scared to meet me, I think. Derek continued to look puzzled, frowny, and revoltingly handsome. It was one of my newer clients, Styles went on to recover his nervousness with more light laughter.
God.
He was an older guy who'd never been with another man, and
Oh.
Derek said, finally seeming to catch on that Styles was the type of person who got stood up in bars he couldn't afford to use the bathroom in. Oh, indeed.
Well.
Derek shrugged, shifting in his seat a little. Well, Styles asked, grinning. He could totally pull this off.
Well, his loss then.
I'll cheers to that. The bartender must have smelled the wealth wafting off of Derek and his fitted suit because their drinks arrived in record time. And the cocktails must have been costly too. Styles' concoction was glinting with what appeared to be real flakes of gold. It tasted like Apollo had nutted directly in its mouth.
I love that descriptor.
Great. So, Derek, Styles said, thanking his lucky stars that his first, much cheaper drink was blessing him with a bit of confidence. What do you do?
I manage and rent out properties.
You're a landlord?
Boo!
Boo! I read that when I was reading that. I was like, fuck, Derek, fuck, boo.
They always gotta ruin them with the jobs.
I know.
Technically, I guess. I lease out luxury apartments and office buildings.
Styles blinked dumbly. Whole buildings? Entire ones? Do you mean like out of state?
No. Here, in the city.
I didn't read that description.
That is definitely a line. Do you need me to read it?
It's so funny. I think I can do. Oh,
It's definitely a line. You got it?
You gotta say the word for me in between. Apollo.
Why don't I just read it for you? Why am I gonna read one
do
word
it,
for
do
you?
it,
Okay.
do it.
Apollo's sperm nearly spurted out of Styles' nostrils.
That's
Liz is like dead in her
funny.
chair.
That's so fucking funny. That's so good. Oh my god. He covered it up with a cough and a smooth, almost casual. That sounds stressful.
Sometimes.
Derek said nonchalantly.
But my family's always been in the business. I learned a lot from my mom and older sister.
How nice.
Except they're not really nice. They're nicknamed the Alpha Wolves of New York.
You gotta get the wolf reference in there somewhere. You gotta.
It's the requirement of any steric fic.
Styles
And alpha
quite,
mention.
Yeah. Styles couldn't quite contain his hysterical laughter. It jolted from him like a hiccup. The Wolves of Wall Street? Derek opened his mouth to answer, but quickly stopped, looking away again. He actually blushed.
When you say it like that, it sounds stupid.
It doesn't sound stupid the other way, bestie.
It sounds stupid no matter how you spin it, bestie.
No, Styles rushed out, even though it totally was, but he wasn't willing to lose his miraculous opportunity over a half-baked Wolf Meteor reference. It's not stupid, but it's kind of funny.
Fair enough.
Derek said, sipping his drink almost bashfully.
God.
It's so funny. It's so, like, it's genuine. Like, you can't tell me this isn't funny.
It's funny, but it's also, you know how I feel about miscommunication and fics, and it's like giving me like fucking angina. Like I'm getting heart constrictions from this. I would ask what it is you do, but I guess I already know.
That was frozen horror. Did he smell like dog? Abruptly, Derek swigged his drink and leaned closer, elbows splayed across the bar.
How much would it be?
Styles' perfectly sculpted eyebrows fled towards his scalp. What?
For the. Oh, this must be tactless, right?
Derek leaned back, eyes shifty and avoiding.
Here, just write it down and I won't say anything else.
Derek reached into his suit jacket, chest beneath staringly solid, and withdrew a small black leather book. He set it down on the shiny quartz bar top, flipped it open, and set a pen down next to it with a clack. Finally, Styles realized it was his checkbook. Derek was soliciting him. In shock and a bit of horror, Styles pushed the book away fiercely. What is wrong with you? He hissed.
Is this not tactful?
No, it's not tactful.
But
no, you listen here, Styles interrupted, raising a single finger. But just as he was about to cuss the guy out, pulling every colorful insult from his inventive menagerie, did you hear how I said those words really well?
You did very well. I'm very proud of you.
I shocked my brain didn't short circuit. He noticed how soft and vulnerable his face looked. Eyes on Styles like he was looking at someone out of his league. It was so bizarre and jarring that Styles just said the first thing that came to his mind. This is highly unexpected.
I know.
Derek replied, gritting his jaw and shifting in his chair.
You came to meet another client, but he's not here. And I just thought...
Eyes quickly flitted up and down Styles' body. He took a big breath in, avoiding eye contact all the while, and let air out in a quiet huff.
This man is down bad in horny jail.
It's so bad.
Somebody bail him out. He is locked up.
Yes.
This is probably a bad thing to say, but just tell me how much. 1,000 or whatever. I don't care what it is. I'll pay it.
Styles once again just stared and blinked at him, mouth hanging open. He put a single fingertip up a little higher this time. Excuse me for just a second. Styles practically backflipped his way past the bar through the sparse crowd and onto the sidewalk outside. Scott, oh my god, Scotty, thank fuck you answered.
What? What's wrong?
I'm in a bit of a pickle.
Rick? What did you do?
Nothing. Well, I'm gonna do something.
Can I do a quick tangent? The pickle thing just reminded me of, so Dragon Con was this past weekend, and a friend of mine who recently moved to Rhode Island reminded me of this story from the last time I went to Dragon Con back in 2018. It was like Sunday, so like Sunday morning, we were all kind of chilling. It was like 10 a.m. We were sitting in the bar area because it was empty because it was 10 a.m. And this guy is sitting in a pickle costume. And of course, this is the height of Pickle Rick stuff. So
yeah,
but we didn't think anything of it. None of us really watched Rick and Morty. We were sitting and talking, and this guy just comes by and goes, "Oh my god, Pickle Rick!" And the guy goes, "No, I'm just a pickle," and was so upset about it. He was so hungover, literally nursing like a cocktail or something to like fight the hangover. And he says, "No, man, I'm just a pickle."
Fucking mood.
I think about him a lot. I really hope he's doing well.
Honestly, whenever me and my friends see pickles, we always go, "Oh my god, Pickle Rick!"
But no, it's just a pickle. Okay, sorry. back to this. Yes. What did you do?
Nothing. Well, I'm gonna do something.
Is it illegal?
Very.
Don't then.
But just hear me out, okay? Hear me out. So I'm in this swanky bar. My date doesn't show, even though I look edible, like sexy edible, not just regular made of flesh, edible anyway.
Does it involve coke?
No.
Hard drugs of any kind? You know your meds don't play well.
No.
What is it then?
I was getting there, so I'm edible, at bar, stood up, and this guy shows up out of nowhere.
Is he a cop?
I'm not sure, actually, but I highly doubt it. The bar is too bougie for that undercover shit.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, anyway, he's incredibly hot, and we get to the small talk, and suddenly he
Is in the mafia?
wants to fuck me.
Uh, okay.
He offered me $1,000 just to like fuck me.
Styles.
I didn't lie to him, he assumed.
Styles.
It's a miscommunication.
Did you unmiscommunicate?
No.
You are not a hooker, Styles.
Okay, yes, true, but for $1,000.
Styles. Scotty, stop. Like, we all would.
He implied that that was like the starting point. Like, I could ask for more.
Styles.
Scott. Dot, 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 dot.
You're sure he's not a cop?
Way too sloppy to be a cop. He told me to write down my price at the bar counter in his private checkbook.
Wow.
Exactly. It's shooting fish in a barrel. Extremely sexy fish.
But will the fish murder you?
There comes a time when we almost ask ourselves that question.
Styles, seriously, can you at least keep me updated on your exact location?
Of course. Wait, are you giving me permission?
No, but I already know you're gonna do it, and if I keep telling you no, you'll just do it stupidly. I want you safe.
Aw, Scotty, my darling, my dainty darling clownfish. Remind me to marry you in a few decades when both of us are lonely spinsters.
Shut up. I'm furious with you.
What if I die tonight? You really want our last conversation?
Don't you even fucking joke about it.
Okay, look, gotta go. And just FYI, I love you deeply. You're the best. And I'm currently at a fancy tap room called Goose and Hollow, talking business with a guy named Derek Hill, who is literally stupid enough to flash me his real checkbook that is plastered with his actual real name. His whole family is in property management or some shit. I guess the name kind of rings a bell.
When you get back home, safe and totally unharmed, I am going to kill you.
Riches, TTYL. Style approaches the bar again, chest throbbing in an intoxicating mixture of confidence and utter petrification. He caught Derek's eyes and smiled. Derek, bless his heart, actually appeared relieved.
I thought you caught a taxi.
Without you, never. Style said, somehow managing to keep his volume and tone level. He laid a hand along Derek's forearm gently. Before we head out, though,
What?
Derek asked impatiently. Slowly, Styles grinned, trying his best to catch Lydia's patented sweetheart, I'm better expression. What's the catch?
What?
The catch, Dare Bears. Styles repeated. I like this fic has such funny writing. Like
I'm vibing with this fic, and Styles is very
funny.
in character.
It's so funny. Like I feel like fics really like a lot of them like don't get his like wittiness.
Yes.
Like they don't get it right.
They just make him like uwu bottom, but like he's kind of bratty. Like it's fun.
I really love how they're getting the sass, and I love it. Styles repeated and slid his perfectly cradled, practically cellophaned ass into the closest bar stool. While he wasn't a slick or seductive person by any means, Styles had some idea of what people were like. So he just pretended. I mean, mood, bestie.
Confidence is key.
He started the charade by crossing his legs, gliding a quick touch along Derek's calf, and propping one arm on the bar, then set his chin atop a delicately curled hand. He tilted his head in a way that should be vaguely cute, and let his neck stretch from his collarbones subtly. When he spoke once more, Derek was yet again staring at the exposed crook of his neck. Success! From what you've shown me so far, you're a handsome rich man with at least a bare handle on human language. I'd get it if you were older or married or just passing through, but honestly, you should have no problem finding dates. So why are you doing this?
Derek's like, I can fix him.
Derek frowned and looked away.
That's none of your business.
Well, if you want to be inside me at some point tonight, I say it's my business. How the hell Style kept a composed face as he said that? He didn't know.
Yeah, that's brave.
But it was all the sweeter as he saw Derek's face go pink, tensing and cringing in discomfort. Derek looked supremely pissed off as he said,
It's because I'm bad at dating, all right?
You're bad at it?
Yeah.
Styles raised a single brow. I'm sorry to hear that.
No, you don't understand.
Derek went on, flicking the last of his drink back in frustration.
I constantly make awful dating decisions. My taste is terrible. Literally the absolute worst.
Oh, come on. It can't be that
Two
bad.
of my exes are in prison for attempted murder.
Okay, yes, the worst,
I'm tired of the whole charade.
he said,
I'm
scowling.
tired of meeting someone thinking they're genuine and finding out everything was just a huge lie.
Oh, I see where this fic is going. He's gonna melt his heart. And then when he finds out he's lying, he's gonna be like, this was all just a huge lie.
Yeah, and then
You
it's
know
gonna be
the
more
drama.
miscommunication. Yeah.
Yeah, we love it. Um, sorry, and Styles, the charade playing liar, just shifted in his seat awkwardly.
Sorry.
Derek said gruffly.
You probably don't want to deal with someone else's baggage.
Styles shrugged and plastered a smile on, determined to fake it to make it. I did ask, don't sweat it.
Do you have any more questions for me?
Derek asked, false patience latently mingled with sarcasm. On a panicked whim, Styles asked, do you have any cash on you? Derek frowned, took out his wallet, and rifled through.
About 600. Why?
Well, why do you have that much? Derek looked at him like he just asked why the earth was round. So Styles said, you know what? Whatever, can we leave?
Yes.
Great, good, let's go. As they walked towards the exit, Derek tried to place a hand on Styles' lower back. Styles was so nervous about everything that he swatted it away. To cover up the possible Hooker faux pas, he hurried away from Derek's side toward the curb, holding an arm up for a passing taxi. And that's all I copied, but like I felt like it's not obviously like the traditional like what you would read in this fic because this is like a whole like it's like him like faking it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so good. It's so
I really
funny.
did enjoy it, just like this excerpt we read. I can't say that I think I would read the traditional fix from this trope, but this is fun, except for the miscommunication part, which you know I hate.
I love a good miscommunication. Um, like I enjoy a good sugar baby fic. Like I'm down for it.
It really depends for me on age gaps and everything. Age gaps are kind of a squick for me. I respect them, but not for me. So it's like it
Mhm.
really all depends, and like there's a lot of factors that play into it. But this fic in particular, I fuck with.
Yeah,
Um,
usually there's a lot of like sugar baby stuff in the Hannibal fandom. So like
that
that's
makes
usually where
sense.
I read it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And so that's usually where I read it. Um yeah.
Okay.
Um
So
um you wanna know what we did in the past month that we didn't say?
what?
We both read the new Allie Hazelwood book and
Did
we
we
loved
not talk
it.
about that?
We didn't talk
Oh
about
my
it.
God. Yeah, we both read it. Both loved it.
Oh my God. It was
That
so
author, Allie
good.
Hazelwood, is very, very talented.
She just knows what to
She
write.
nails those tropes down. And like, I gotta say, I really did appreciate the extra smut in this one because everyone said the last one was so steamy and that's why I picked it up. And I was like, I mean, yeah, it was good. And the one sex scene in it was
Scenes
good.
that are
But
they're good, but
yeah,
it
but this
wasn't
one
that
I
hard.
did appreciate that it had more. Still, you know,
Mhm.
it was new adult. She really could not have added more without making it fully like an adult book. So I
Yeah.
respect it, but it was very good. I thought it was very well done.
I love fake dating, so I'm like sad we didn't get the fake dating again. But like obviously like we can't have the same fucking book again, like duh. But like
I
it was
actually like
so
this one
good.
so much more, but it's also because I live for the drama. I will say the ending of the book pissed me off. I thought the climax was like very rushed. And I don't know if
It
that was
was. It
like
was.
I don't know if that's like a remnant of the fic that it used to be, or like something happened with the deadlines, but it is very rushed and, in my opinion, very poorly done. But the rest of the book makes up for it.
Is really good. The thing is, I loved like this makes up with more like actual like smut scenes, but I really love like the tension in Love Hypothesis. Like I think Love
Oh my
Hypothesis has
God.
way better tension,
Yeah,
and it
the
has
build up,
so
like
much,
it's shorter build up.
but it's like Love
The shorter
Hypothesis
build up, but
has such good
more
tension.
tension.
Well, no, it has like so much tension because it's like they don't
That's what
really
I'm
get
saying. Yeah,
to.
shorter build up, but more
Yeah,
tension. Like she managed to convey like all the sexual tension that she kind of missed in the first book.
No, I think the first book had
Oh,
better
you're talking about
tension.
wait, shit, Love Hype. Oh my god, I was thinking they both are kind of like the same name. No, I actually disagree. I think that Love on the Brain had more tension because of but like I think and I just think it was overall a better book. But again, Love Hypothesis for you, the tension is there with the fake dating. For me, like that didn't really do anything.
Yeah, that's fair because like there is really good tension in this book in this terms like when they're like actually together and they're in like they're like in those situate like this more
You can
smutty
feel the
sections of
electricity.
like you can really feel it. But like I just love like the tension in like the everyday kind of like where they
Yes.
have to like pretend like because that's like when I talk about fake dating, that is what I fucking love from it. It's so good. I will stop bothering you
That's
guys
okay.
with how
I
much
will
I
also
adore this
say,
book.
it was a lot less obvious about the Star Wars characters in this book compared to the other ones, which I appreciated.
I
Like, obviously, I knew it was
yeah.
Raylo, but like the supporting characters, it was a
You know
lot
what?
less obvious who was who.
I did at a point literally Google. I'm like, is this like actually like
Yeah,
is this like
I literally
also a
had asked
Raylo?
Liz because I was like, wait, is this? I thought like most of her stuff was, but I wasn't sure. But it is, and I think the editing team did a much better job this time around of hiding who is who.
I also much preferred the characterization. If we're gonna like I think I don't know if I talked
You
about
and
this
I
on the
talked about
podcast.
this.
Like I didn't necessarily feel like it was very like like characterized in the first book. Like I don't
Liz
think it
thinks
really
that
much
Ray
to the
was better
degree.
in this one. But
Yeah.
okay, we're like over an hour 20. We should really cut it. And not because we info dumped for
Sorry,
5 minutes.
one more quick thing. I really thought the references to Star Wars in this book were really fucking funny.
They were, they
They
were,
were so fucking funny.
they
Okay, I'm
were
done.
expertly placed. Okay. So all that being said, this comes out this Friday. Hopefully, we will have more regular episodes for you coming out now. I'm Gabs. You can find me on social media on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok at Flighty the Nerd. Liz, where can we find you in the show?
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and TikTok at Lazily Liz. You can find the show on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Trope Podcast. You can email us for any. Oh my
Facebook
God, I'm losing my mind. You can find us on Facebook at Trope Podcast or Their Tropes Battled for Doms.
and
You
YouTube.
can email. Oh, and YouTube. If you need emails for any reason, like questions, concerns, comments, good Maze Runner, or Twilight fanfictions, please email us at tropedominance@gmail.com. Please rate, comment, follow, subscribe, whatever it is, wherever you listen to the show. It helps us a lot. Thank you.
Thanks, guys, and we'll talk to you next. Bye
Peace.
bye.